Nayena, I was hoping that you could tell us a little bit more about Spelman and about the work that you're doing there, and maybe a bit about the quantitative training that the students receive as well.
So, Spelman is a small, historically Black liberal arts college for women in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been at Spelman since 2009. I was promoted to associate professor in 2015 and to full professor in 2019. And I wear several hats at Spelman, but the most relevant to today's conversation is the work that I do in training students in quant sciences. One way that I do that is through the courses that I teach, such as psychometrics, statistics 1, as well as statistics 2. In our psychology department, our major, we require students to complete a 3-semester sequence in statistics and measurement. So students are required to take statistics 1, followed by research methods. And for the third course, they have the option of taking statistics 2, which covers multivariate analyses, or psychometrics, which covers test development, including how to test if measures that we're developing are reliable and valid. Some students, especially those who plan to pursue graduate degrees, will tend to take both of the advanced measurement classes. So some of our students take the psychometrics as well as statistics 2. And when they get to graduate school, they're really well prepared and feel confident in that first year statistics course that can sometimes be a gatekeeper in students progressing through graduate programs. And so I think our department does a really good job in preparing students who go on to graduate programs to stay quantitatively literate, to stay in their programs, and to be successful. So in addition to some of the teaching that I do to keep students in the quantitative sciences, another way that I train students in quantitative sciences when they work with me on independent research projects or through thesis projects. And students who work with me in my lab also get smart quantitatively because I'm able to work one-on-one with them. And when students are working on those independent projects, they're free to come up with questions that sometimes go beyond the topics that are covered in a basic class because I can work with them on those questions. So I've worked with some students, sophomores, juniors, on growth curve analyses or imputation, because those are things that came up when we were working one-on-one. And then also I'm the director of the NSF-funded Inspire U2 program, which stands for Increase in Statistical Preparation and Research Education for Underrepresented Undergraduates. And the goal of that program is to provide statistical training to underrepresented female first-year students across a broad range of disciplines. And so the goal of that program is to increase diversity in statistical field. And that's one great thing about Spelman and HBCUs is that the students have that level of comfort when they are working with their faculty members, their professors. They can come and chat with us about different issues that they're facing. So we educate the whole person. And that's very important. It's not all about books and it's not all about just the numbers. It's about you, the individual, and how are you approaching these topics that we're talking about. And when we educate that whole person, then the individual is able to be successful. It's very important to acknowledge that there is a change that others are seeing because that's what we need to be happening. Black people and people of color have been saying this for a long time. When we have a more diverse institution, we're all made better. Our science is made better, richer, stronger. We can answer more questions and so on. And to the extent that more people at the table are talking about making these changes, we will be more likely to actually see these changes taking place. It's kind of sad that it's taken us this long to get to this point, but I'm really hopeful that now that we are at this point, we can finally get over this hurdle that has been an obstacle for too many years.
So I was wondering if you could take a few minutes to tell us about your NSF grant that supports your outreach effort to undergraduate, underrepresented minorities to draw them into the quantitative sciences.
For years, I've been working to get funding to support training undergraduates. And so the NSF award was to start for this summer, but it had to be postponed until we'll start next summer. The goal is to train undergraduates in statistics, and this grant is interdisciplinary. And the key part of the training is to target undergraduates who've just finished their first year. So to start them off earlier before they declare a major so that they have opportunities in undergrad to take more of the quantitative classes and to potentially declare a major that's more quantitative than they had maybe initially thought when they first got to college. That's the goal of the NSF Inspire U2 program.
So just like you saw the website for USC's program and you said, hey, math, psychology, it's me. What kinds of things are you doing to help draw people in and make them attracted to this as a field?
It's called the passion-driven statistics, and it's mainly introducing students to statistics, project-driven approach. Students can do the statistics even before they take an introductory statistics class. They don't have to have any background. And so I use that approach in training students is to provide them with information on an as-needed basis. So we don't have to necessarily tell students everything and theoretical and here's all the numbers and make sure you understand this equation. Allowing students to get their hands on data and analyzing it, coming up with their own research questions, and then introducing them to the types of analyses that are relevant for those research questions is also a method of training students. And I think such a method can increase students' interest in data and analyses. And so those are the types of techniques that I use in reaching students and getting them more interested and engaged. Sometimes it's okay to ask students what they're interested in. You might do that before the semester starts. If you know your list of students, you can contact them, find out what they're interested in, and maybe tailor the examples that are used into some of their interests. Additionally, allowing students to pick their own research topics can help them to be more engaged and interested in it so that they have more of an ownership of what it is that they're working on, and helping students to see the importance of their work. Oh, I would just say to folks who are listening to encourage your students to seek out these quantitative programs. Talk to them about that. Psychology is more than just the clinical or counseling. And even if students are interested in that, it doesn't mean they can't be strong quantitatively. And I think that's important as well. So encourage our students to pursue these different opportunities that might be out there available for them.